All right, we will call the council meeting to order.
Yeah.
Some of that.
And Girl Scouts, you know.
Everybody stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, take the roll.
O'Connor.
Here.
Morissette.
Here.
Alms.
Here.
DeZiel.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Atkins Hoggett.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
All right. Start out with one of the more fun things to do. That's swearing in of officers. We have Officer Schendel. Is it Schendel or Schendel?
Schendel.
Schendel and Massman.
Mossman, yeah. Officer Schendel.
How are you, Judge?
Officer Eli Schendel is a Hudson High School graduate. Went to school in Eau Claire and now has joined our force. So we're happy to have him.
That way too.
Raise your right hand, please. I, Elias Schindel,
I, Elias Schindel,
having been appointed as patrol officer
having been appointed as patrol officer
for the City of Hudson,
for the City of Hudson,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Officer Mossman. Officer Mossman was a former deputy in the Pierce County Sheriff's Office and came to our agency from there. So.
Raise your right hand. I, David Massman,
I, David Mossman,
having been appointed as patrol officer
having been appointed as patrol officer
for the City of
for
Hudson,
the City of Hudson,
affirm that I will support
affirm that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, both of you. Thank you, Chief. Yeah. All right, next we have a Girl Scout Spirit Week proclamation. Come forward.
Come on up.
You got cookies for us?
No money. All right, so it'll be my honor to read the proclamation. So, Girl Scout Spirit Week proclamation, September 16th to the 22nd, 2019. Whereas, since 1912, Girl Scouting has fueled the leadership pipeline in our communities by preparing and inspiring millions of girls and women to be active leaders with the highest ideals of character, conduct, and patriotism. And whereas, throughout its long and distinguished history, Girl Scouts has been the preeminent leadership development organization for girls, where they can unleash their potential to be the leaders of our world needs, both now and in the future. And whereas Girl Scouts' expertise and timeless programming offers every girl a chance to practice a lifetime of leadership in a girl-led, girl-focused, and all-girl environment. And whereas through Girl Scouting, girls gain courage, confidence, and character to make their local communities and the world a better place. And whereas girls get exposure to new experiences in science, technology, engineering, and math, the outdoors, and entrepreneurship through Girl Scouts' unique programs. And whereas 28,000 local Girl Scout members and 9,000 volunteers will be celebrating 107 years of this American tradition and its contributions to the community. Now, therefore, The City of Hudson, by virtue of the authority vested in the mayor, do hereby applaud the commitment Girl Scouting has made to America's girls and proudly proclaim the week of September 16th to the 22nd, 2019, be designated as Girl Scout Spirit Week.
We're going to take a picture with all of the board members. So.
How do you want to do it? I'm trying to get out of the way.
We all go back.
We can stand on the table. You want to?
Let's come back there. You want to come here?
We can come out there. That's fine. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know.
No, it's good.
You're doing the
We
center.
get that request all that often.
Yeah, stand near the front. I think I'm even taller than you. Not my wife, but.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Okay, one more. Hudson. Hudson. We got it. Right here. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sounding for it. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in. Great to see you.
Pretty good.
All right. Next up, public hearing regarding the water system impact fee update and proposed ordinance increase. Ordinance increasing the water system impact fee for the impact fee district. Yep.
Well, the first part is a public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. All right. Is there anyone here who would like to make a comment or has a comment on this? Anyone who would like to speak to this? Anyone who would like to speak to this?
Move to close.
Second. Motion is second to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Public hearing is closed. Discussion of possible action on ordinance 13-19, increasing the water system impact fee for the impact fee district.
Move to suspend the rules?
Second.
Motion is second to suspend. Roll call.
Morissette.
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes.
DeZiel.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Atkins Hoggett.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Rules are suspended.
Move to adopt ordinance 13-19.
Second.
Motion is second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion?
Are we raising the price on something here that
Let me-
everybody should be aware of?
No. The first thing that I want to talk about here is under public hearing on the agenda, under B, the word increasing should not, it's updating. So just clear off of that. There is an increase in there, and I can explain that, but we're actually updating a 2002 study of the water system impact fee for the impact fee district. So,
Okay.
so I'd like that correction made. It does look kind of that we're just going after extra money.
Joyce, do you make the motion?
Yes.
You want to amend it?
I made the motion to approve ordinance 13-19
I
Right.
think that's all she said.
That's what she said.
Okay, well, we need a word change there.
with the, so is there a word change in the,
The exception of increasing. We're not increasing, correct?
Well, we are increasing, but that's not the reason we're doing this.
Oh,
and it does say updating the impact fee in the
Yeah, in
first
the
paragraph.
ordinance.
Okay, so who's this going to affect?
Okay, so let me step back. What this is, in 2002, there was an impact fee, and I'm going to have to probably refer to Catherine. I came in late on this, Brenda, the last finance director, and our engineer were working on this. When Brenda left, it kind of got dropped in my lap. So I'll try to muddle through it the best I possibly can. And if Catherine, if you want to interject at any time, feel free. So in 2002, there was an impact fee study done. And in your packet, there is actually a map in there. So that is your impact fee study map. The 2002 impact fee study, which was done, included wells 8 and 9 and your Hanley, or your O'Neill water tower. Okay? So move forward now to 3 years ago, when we started construction of well 10. Well 10 was not in that impact fee zone. Well 10 was not thought of back in 2002 when the 2002 impact fee study was done. So moving forward now to 2 years ago, since we've started construction, we built well 10, we needed to get well 10 into that impact fee zone. Part of the water that
Can I correct just one thing? The impact fee study was general. It included supply.
Yes.
But it didn't specifically refer to well 10.
Right.
So but it included supply for this whole area, which was found to be needed. The well 10 was understood to be needed as supply. So it was
Correct.
in there, but not referenced specifically. So that's why it was, when the well was built, we needed to update the impact fee to accommodate or take into account actual construction costs.
Correct.
So it was supported, I mean, it fit into the needs assessment as water supply for that area.
Right. So now the new one that we had done through our engineering firm included well 10.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're looking at also in your packet, I passed out, you do have that chart that's in there of your, the proposed fees. Let me find it here. You guys should have it in your chart. Oh,
Okay, so in our packet, we have a $2,719
correct. And
impact fee, and that's in the ordinance.
right.
Are you adjusting that?
We are adjusting that to 2,000, or to your current is 2,353 is your current RU. That's the sheet that I passed out.
Okay.
So that was not included in your packet. The current today was not included in your packet. So what you have, that 27, that is what we are proposing to go to.
And how long has this 2,300 been?
Since 2002.
Right.
So it hasn't changed
So it
since
hasn't
2002?
Correct, and it
Okay.
was supposed to be updated annually.
Right.
That's why when well 10 became an issue, we had an engineer, water engineer, look at the situation and prepared this update in terms of both the actual costs, and then I think, since that was done, wasn't it in 2017? There's also an index they look at for updating costs. But the fact was that we have actual costs now instead of estimates, which we had in 2002, to base the impact fee on. And there's still property in that area that's yet to be developed and served by that well.
So we're not back billing.
No.
No.
This
It's,
is
there's
just
property, yeah, there's
Future.
still property to be developed in that area. And so this impact fee will more closely reflect the actual costs of the infrastructure necessary, the well necessary to serve that area. But it only applies to, will be collected at building permit issuance for new development. It was kind of like, now you're going to do it's proposed to do the park and transportation impact fee studies. This should have been done to update it, over time, long ago, and so it was a missed opportunity. But now, since there's areas still to be developed in that will be served by that well, at least we can collect it that way.
In layman's terms with the audience, if I want to build a house over in, by well 10, which is what, Beaneman or Beaneman Farm,
Up by the movie theater.
movie theater, you're going to charge me $4,700 to hook up. Plain terms, right?
Well, it depends, it all goes off of REUs, which is a residential equivalency unit. So it depends on the size of your home, how many connections,
standard.
how many connections you have. If it's a one REU, it would be the 27,
19.
I don't have that right in front of me. It'd be the 20.
2,700.
Yeah, it'd be the 20, it would be the 2719. And then that just kind of works through on your REUs.
But you see, you got
This
single-family
whole-
residential there.
Right. This whole thing, part of what Mike talked about, before about with the parks and the transportation thing, we're redoing our whole impact fee in the water side anyway. The commission has already approved using Trilogy to go through and redo it. It's a nightmare. The way our current one is set up for David Gray to try to figure it out. It's based off of acres, REUs, acres.
Our zoning.
And you can only use the money in the zone that it's designated for, which is that map. There's way easier ways that it can be done today, and that's what we're going to be looking at doing. I see this ordinance change as probably being about a 6-month.
Yes.
It's going to probably be in play for about 6 months, maybe 8 at the most. By next spring, we hope to have all of our new impact fees, programs, or whatever you want to call them, in place, ready for you guys to vote on, which is going to make everything way simpler.
Perception is reality. We've increased water, we've increased sewer, and people
Right.
have told us all, I think, that they've seen their bills go up. So that's why I'm concerned.
Well, part of,
If they see what this is, and I just want to make it very clear to the general public how this affects them.
right. Yeah, there is an increase. Yes, you are correct. To new construction, there will be an increase, correct.
And it's it's new development, and it's to pay, and it's authorized under the statute to pay for the infrastructure, the capital infrastructure that's necessary to serve that new development.
I get that.
But remember, the intent, though, is to not put the costs of new development onto your existing homeowners and property taxpayers.
That's what I want very clear.
So that's what the goal of this is, because if you don't do this and you don't increase it and your new development comes in and isn't paying their share, what then happens is that you do have to increase your existing property tax owners either through taxes, utility rates, whatever it is. So the goal of this is to make new development pay for itself as much as possible as allowed, and then to take that burden of new development off your existing homeowners and property taxpayers.
I get all that.
That's the goal of something like this. Yes, you have an increase, but the goal is when people see their water and sewer rate increases, hopefully in the future, we can mitigate some of that by making sure we stay up to date with this. So we're not trying to put that cost onto them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get all that. Believe me. The perception's reality, Kip. We're hearing it from our constituents. At least I am.
And part of this whole impact fee thing actually started with our last rate case. It was the PSC that said, you really need to look at this, that, you're way outdated, you're not collecting what you should be collecting in today's, again, this was 2002 was the last time. So, it's been 17 years since anything's been increased. Well, look at all of the construction that has happened in 17 years in this community. And if we would have been increasing this, at a yearly rate or every other year or something like it should have been done, which still would have only put us up to that 2,700. It might have been $50 a year, $100 a year, whatever that is. But we have actually lost revenue because we haven't done it for 17 years. So what we're saying today is that we need to do this today to get caught up to where we should have been on our own.
Yeah, that would have only been $25 to $30 a year.
Correct.
Well,
And again, like I
it's
say-
putting the cost on those who are being served by that
Right,
actual well.
right. Because we did have to build well 10 because of demand,
Yeah,
because of the new construction demand.
yeah, I know.
So that's what we're trying to recoup.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A related question might be the graph that shows water use trends.
Oh, sure.
The way I read that, 2025, we're out of capacity. Where we've reached capacity.
Say that again?
2025, we've reached capacity?
No, we
based on
should
the
be, we
projection?
should be good, 2040, we should be good on capacity in that area. You know, a lot of it just depends, these are educated guesses as to how fast the city of Hudson is going to grow too. You know, we have done water studies on when we're projected to do our next well, you know, towers, things of that nature.
You may want to
So-
revise that graph then, because it shows you running out in 2025.
Well, that
Running out
could
of
be just in
capacity.
that area.
Hudson historical water use trends, something's wrong with this graph. And that's actually fairly moderate increase over the next 5 years. So,
Yeah, it would be.
I don't know, just need to revisit that information, because it concerns me. I remember the 2040 numbers.
Well,
That's
even
all.
that's not going to change what we're trying to do today.
No, absolutely not.
Correct.
Is there a motion?
There already was a motion.
What are we, oh, that's, I'm sorry, Joyce, you're going back to your motion.
Can we get a clarification on that, Councilmember Hall? So is it just that your motion is to adopt ordinance 1319? Because the wording of, updating is on the ordinance itself. So were we leaving it at just
Yeah.
approve? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Kip.
Thank you.
All right, we're pulling items C and D from the agenda. We talked about it at a later date. It's part of the agenda for comments from citizens present. Does anybody have a comment? Anybody have a comment? Anybody have a comment? Hearing none, we'll close that portion of the agenda. Consent agenda?
Consent agenda items for tonight's meeting are as follows. Approve the meeting minutes from the September 3rd, 2019 regular council meeting. Approve the
Can you pull
claims.
that, please? I've got a correction to it.
Sure. Approve the claims in the amount of $888,676.68. Approve the regular operator license applications as listed on the issue sheet. Place on file the August 13, 2019 Public Utilities Commission meeting minutes. Approve Brittany Harmon of Companion Animal Control LLC Animal Control pending the signing of a contract. Approve the alternate bid submitted by Pembroke Companies in the amount of $95,231.25 for the Walnut Street Improvement Project.
Are we pulling that to discuss? It was not Walnut Street? We did not make a recommendation on a finance.
Yeah,
Oh, we
wanted-
did.
We did.
No, it was, you just moved it to
I
council.
moved it to council.
Oh,
So,
without a
yes,
recommendation?
we need to pull that
Okay,
too.
yeah, pull it.
You're right.
Okay. Approval to proceed with the transportation impact fee study with Trilogy Consultants in the amount of $3,682.39. Approval to proceed with the park impact fee study with Trilogy Consultants in the amount of $3,156.33. Approval of a fence easement agreement at 2710 Galway Court, John Vukovich. Approval of a certified survey map for 1909 Shasta Drive for St. Croix County, tax parcel 236-1994-04-000, Joel LaVenture. Approval of setting a public hearing date of October 21st, 2019 for a zoning map amendment application from R1, one family residential, to RT transitional two-way family at 1031 2nd Street, J. Claren. Approval of setting a public hearing date of October 21, 2019 for a zoning map amendment application from B2 general commercial to RM2 multiple family residential and a comprehensive plan amendment from general commercial to medium-density residential at St. Croix County, tax parcel 236-2070-03-031, Land Dev Co. of Hudson LLC. Approve the annual St. Patrick's Faith and Wellness Walk scheduled for September 18, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on 4th Street between St. Croix Street and River Street. Approve the street closure on 3rd Street for Halloween. Approve the River Valley Deer Management contract for the 2019-2020 season.
Pull that one, please.
Approve the Yellowstone Trail Heritage Day event on October 12, 2019 at Lakefront Park. Approve the issuance of a temporary beer license to the Hudson Hockey Association for their Welcome Back to Hockey 3-on-3 pig roast scheduled for September 27, 2019. Approval of a release of utility easement located at St. Croix County, tax parcel 236-1975-10-0000, St. Croix Meadows redevelopment site.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve consent agenda with the exception of items A, F, and O. Is that right? Did I miss
No,
anything?
G. Oh, no, that's wrong.
A, F, and O.
A, F, and O. Roll call.
Morissette.
Yes.
Alms.
Yes.
DeZiel.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Atkins Hoggett.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Motion's approved. Joyce, item A.
Okay, so on the meeting minutes, page 3, in the paragraph starting with motion by DeZiel, second by Morris at the second, it says, and not use the list of companies named in the agreement. It should be, instead of companies, it should be chemicals.
Oh, okay. I'll make that change.
Good catch.
Also on page 1, I'm shown as present and absent. Just absent.
Is that possible?
That's a trick, yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry, was that a motion?
I'll move to approve with the changes, both changes made.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Item F. So this was moved on to council, I guess, without recommendation. Discussion, anything? Is there
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
a motion second to approve? Discussion?
I just, there's a lot of things that have to be done, and this is a want or a need. I won't object to it, though.
Okay. Further discussion?
I'll just say for the record that I think Lakefront Park is really important. It's the first face many people see of our city when they visit, and a good impression will likely bring them back. It does look pretty bad, so that's why I'm in support of this project, and to move it into spring and save that money. I think it's a great thing. I'm glad Michael researched that.
Yeah, I would echo that. I think that, I know Mike's worked hard, I know Public Works, we've talked about this project, and I think it's a great addition to the city, and I think it puts our best foot forward in a very public area. It's very much a destination spot for Hudson, so I think it's well worth the investment, yeah.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Item O.
Oh, was pulled. I had asked that the owner of River Valley Deer Management come and present updated numbers before we approve it. So Lon, I'd like to know what numbers you harvested in the last couple of years. And
It's been, yes, absolutely.
Lon?
It's been,
Identify yourself.
oh, Lon Faya with RVDM, River Valley Deer Management. So we've been able to stay fairly consistent. We've gone from 12 to 15, over the last 3-4 years. Last year was 13. Harvested, right. No incidents, no wounding loss. I will point out that 3 of those had broken rear legs, which we attribute to, 2 rear, 1 front, which we attribute to car accidents. So they were still wandering around just fine. They just had been struck by a car. So are we eliminating deer from the city of Hudson? No. Are we saving a hosta or 2 or 3? Yes, absolutely. It's control. It's management.
How many does the DNR have in the area? In the old contract says 80 per
Square mile hasn't changed, if anything, it's increased. In the metro areas, people will argue whether hard winter, maybe up north, there's losses. We don't have that. We've noticed anecdotally a number of triplets, which means that they're in good health and doing well. That only happens when it's a bumper crop, so to speak.
Okay. Thanks. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Lon. Discussion and possible action on approving Resolution 16-19 requesting exemption from county library tax.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion second to suspend. Roll call.
Morissette.
Yes.
Helms.
Yes.
DeZiel.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Atkins Hoggett.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Motion's approved. Rules are suspended. Allison, is that you or?
So annually, the city has to apply for the exemption for the property taxes to help, because we contribute a set amount every year towards the library. We have to calculate the 3-year average of what we've contributed to the previous, and it's come out to the $348,000 is the average. We'll contribute what we did for the budget in 2019 at minimum, and then we'll meet the requirement. So it's just the general routine that we have to apply for every year, be on record. You're always approved by the county.
Okay.
Move to adopt Resolution 16-19.
Second.
Got a motion second to approve. I just have one question. Is this prospective? So are we, this is based upon what we are contributing for 2019 from the budget for this year, or is this based upon?
We have to take our 2017 budget, our 2018 budget, 2019 budgeted numbers.
Right.
And find the average and say that that's where we should be at.
That
which
I
is
understand.
less than
Is the exemption for 2019 or for 2020?
for 2020.
So we're committing to support the library with at least $348,278.
Which is
So-
less than
For
we
next
did.
year.
Which is less than we did in the last year's budget.
So we are actually certifying an exemption amount before we do the budget.
Well, this would be our minimum budget.
It has to be filed we have to have it filed with them by the end of September.
Okay, so it's
And that's
intent, it's
into
intent rather than what we've
Well, and
actually
to
done.
qualify for the exemption, which means that it doesn't get put onto everybody's property taxes.
No, I understand that. I get that.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know that I don't know that I fully understood when we brought this in, if this was, so we're making a commitment to, we're not certifying that we have actually raised that money or committing that money to the library because we haven't done the agenda yet. I always thought that we had to certify that we had already committed that money
No.
to the library through our current budget.
No, the resolution says that we will meet our 2019 budget.
Okay.
And if not exceeded, but that's
Sure.
what it says. And then we have to do, when we go for the next one, we'll have to say that we'll meet what we budgeted again. But, yeah, it's to be approved for the next tax cycle.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
I have a question. So I just want to kind of say all that in a different way. We're committing to that being the minimum budget for 2020?
Our actual budget number, what we actually commit, will be what is on our next worksheet. So this one is currently, yes, the average is less than what we committed for 2019. So if they're looking at that, we're going to say that, yes, this is our average. But I'm guessing odds are it's going to be probably close to what we did last year. It's hard to say until we go through the whole budget cycle. But being it's actually less than last year's contributed amount, that's fairly safe.
You're right.
But this resolution is saying that we are committing to at least $348,000.
Which we have to in order to be able
Yes.
to be qualified for the exemption. Yes. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I wanted to restate. Thanks.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action, thanks Allison. Discussion possible action on approving Resolution 17-19, authorization to file urban forestry and urban forestry catastrophic storm grant applications.
Good evening once again. So this is more of a formality with Devin retiring. Every time we apply for an urban forestry grant or the catastrophic grants, DNR requires a resolution, kind of a standing resolution from the city. I did speak with Aaron about whose name he would like to have on that. He's comfortable with me being on that resolution as an authorized agent to sign for the grant reimbursement, so on and so forth. So that's all this is.
So, Mike, just a quick question, is it, does it have to be just one name, or could we put like a couple names?
Typically, they have just one.
Okay.
Yep.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion second to suspend, roll call.
Morissette.
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes.
DeZiel.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Atkins-Hoggett.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Motion's approved, rules are suspended.
Move to adopt Resolution 17-19.
Second.
Motion second to adopt. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Mike. Discussion possible action regarding a conditional use permit application for Park Place Village Master Development Plan related to the City of Hudson Municipal Code 255-15 Planned Residential Development.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So Park Place LLC has submitted an application for conditional use permit, which is a requirement per our code for all PRDs or planned residential developments in the City of Hudson. So the location of this project will be on what's currently known as Lot 12 in the St. Croix Meadows plat, also known as the old St. Croix, or no, dog track site. So conditional use permit, as you see before you, goes into a lot of depth on specific requirements regarding conditionally, or like dimensional standards and setbacks, some architectural standards such as landscaping, grading, lighting, parking and loading, and street orientation of the buildings to be built. It also goes into depth about open space and parkland requirements, which is a requirement of all PRDs. For this one in particular, it's a PRD 3 or type 3, so it requires 400 square feet for each unit that's proposed. So overall, the CUP allows for flexibility in the design of the neighborhood. Staff is recommending approval with an additional condition that the development agreement for this PRD be approved as well. You don't have it in front of you tonight, but it will be brought to you at a later meeting, probably the next one. So, any questions?
I'll move we approve the conditional use permit.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion.
Do you need the language of,
With the condition,
with the condition in the resolution?
yeah, of the development agreement.
Okay.
Everybody got that? Okay. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion possible action on a final plat for Park Place Village located at Lot 12 of the St. Croix Meadows plat, Park Place LLC.
So in conjunction with the previous item, Park Place LC has also proposed a replat of Lot 12. In this replat, it'll include 54 separate parcels, as well as like 3 outlots, 2 of which will be used to comply with the green space requirement for the PRD, and then 1 of them will also be for a proposed future multifamily development. Also on the plat, you'll find drainage and utility easements have also been identified. Aside from that, any questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion.
That is also conditional on
Yes,
the
yes,
development
yes.
agreement.
That is also a condition of
Yes.
the development agreement.
Okay. Discussion.
Got that, Jen? You got the condition.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Tiffany. Discussion and possible action on directing the city attorney draft a purchase agreement for the ambulances for payment in January 2020.
This came out of public safety. You were supposed to, I don't know if you were given any, Jeff, had you given her any information from Melanie to draft a purchase agreement, so nothing's come to you about it?
No, except that I can work with, was there specific information discussed, or do I work with your attorney? Have you?
We really don't have any numbers because they didn't have anything put there, but our bigger concern was at least some kind of agreement to rent the space in City Hall and across the way.
Well, that was approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that
thing
was
here.
approved
It
at the
was
last meeting.
Space was.
It was.
For
it was-
two
it was just the
ambulances.
sales. They were concerned about, they wanted to have an agreement to buy the ambulances. They didn't have any market rates yet, but I think they wanted to start using them before payment was due because they can't afford to pay for them. I mean, they can't,
January.
they don't have it in their budget to pay for them until 2020.
Scott, you got something to add with that?
No, excuse me, yeah, I think Joyce hit on the head is kind
Must
of,
have been paying attention at that.
Where were you, Randy? On space?
Absent and present.
I'm sure you had it just the same, Randy. But Joyce said that, and really, so we have two ambulances sitting here that, to my understanding, Lakeview wants to buy. They want to defer the purchase till January, but they could use them literally today.
Yeah.
And they would like to get some type of an agreement that maybe a rent back, a lease back option. They're just trying to find the prices of them and what should be, a comparable price or what the city's willing to take, and that's what they need to do. So I guess in the meantime, we have two ambulances that they want. How can we get them in their hands? Or if you're not willing to do that, what do we do with them? Because they're sitting around, so.
At least sign off on liability.
Well, yeah, we'd need to have some kind of lease and insurance. They would,
Yes.
if they're using them, they need to pay the insurance and they need to inspect them and make sure they're satisfied with the
Because
condition.
they did say they needed them. They used
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, yes, and we don't want, them to
Yeah, so
have
I'll-
a shortage of ambulances
I'll
when needed.
talk with their attorney.
Okay.
And come up with something for the next council.
Sorry on that one. We'll be more prepared next time.
So, Mr. Mayor, do we need a motion to direct the,
Well, it's
Catherine,
looking
do
for
that?
action, so.
Yeah,
yes.
you should, so then at least it's on the record
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're moving forward on it.
so I would make the motion to direct our city attorney to negotiate a contract
Yep.
for the use of the ambulances.
I'll second.
Motion second. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved.
Is there a need for them in the meantime? That's going to take us a couple of weeks to a month, perhaps, to get that negotiated?
I think we can work out the deal before the next meeting, and I don't know, Scott, do you think in that interim, are they okay without using them, or they need them right away?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably fine. I think just as soon as have them. But I guess the big thing is coming up with an agreement, and they're working on price tonight.
They want to use them, so they just.
Right.
We need something in there.
Yeah, but we got to make sure that insurance is on them.
I would say we could probably have it ready by next meeting.
By next meeting.
Yeah, we'll be able to work it out. And if they're okay with being able to wait until next meeting to be able to actually utilize them, I think that'd be fine then.
I mean, I think they're gonna have to. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no choice. But
just,
yeah, I agree. But I think if just the direction we need to decide is sooner than later if they want to get it to them, and hopefully by then they can have some prices which would make it even easier. So you can just do the whole agreement
That's the
now
whole
with the
thing.
purchase price included. So that would be probably better off. Then we have the one other ambulance too that the city owns that there's other interest in. I spoke briefly with the city administrator about that, and I think we'll maybe try to find a buyer and then come to the council with that. And there's a few odds and ends, so I don't know, or if there's a direction the council wants us to take.
I mean, I think what we're talking about internally as staff with this transition is that we're going to identify all the assets that are still out there that we have, and then try to figure out what's the best way to kind of work through disposal of them, and we'll bring it all back to the council. Basically, our goal would be to get a whole list of here's everything that we have that we need to transition away from, or basically to dispose of. And I think Scott's going to basically be working with the other parties that have been involved in this, because some have already identified items that they could use, and these are all partners that we work with already. So I think what we would be looking to bring forward to you would be a list of items, the partner who we're going to be selling them to, and that price. And as part of that, we'll negotiate, make sure we're getting a fair market for them and all those sort of things. And then we may end up with a few things that nobody wants, and then we'll have to decide what to do with that. But I think the items that have use, we've already had people identify that they would like to be able to try to acquire them to use for their service or whatever it might be. So we'll bring all that back in hopefully in one list, and get you to approve it all and be done and kind of close it out.
And the two highest ticket items are the two newer ambulances that they're interested in, and the stretchers and the few items that are on there. So hopefully that'll take care of the bulk of it, and the rest of it we can kind of try to parcel out too, so.
Yeah, but we'll make sure the council gets a full list and how we would recommend disposing, so you make that decision away in it.
Okay.
Did we vote on that?
I don't know.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I brought up the,
Yes, we voted.
Do you have that, Madam
Yeah, I
Clerk?
got it. Yes, I do.
Thanks. Discussion and possible action regarding overnight parking on Dominion.
That was, no, go, yeah.
Chief?
Were you paying attention to that part?
Wow.
Not on myself.
So this came up, we brought it to public safety, there's been some complaints, there's an apartment building located in that area near the hotels up on Dominion, and we've gotten some complaints about semi-trailers being parked overnight there. It's really an unenforceable situation right now because we have things that limit the amount of time people can be parked in residential areas. We have limits on in industrial areas, but we don't really have anything addressing commercial districts. So we talked about it at public safety. We moved it forward to general counsel to talk about possible solutions, if anything, that you guys might want to do.
We brought up 10 to 6 a.m. in the morning, 10 at night to 6 a.m. parking, not allowed.
Yeah, no overnight, yeah.
So what's the motion?
That would be the motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion second, did you get it?
Prohibit overnight parking or 10 to 6 a.m.
From 10 to
10
6
p.m.
a.m.,
10
10 p.m.
okay.
to 6 a.m.
10 p.m., 6 a.m., okay.
And
No
parking
overnight.
prohibit parking of semis or trailers.
It was specific to tractor trailer.
Yeah, the initial complaint was the blacktop seal coat workers that were leaving their stuff parked there, and the refrigeration units on some of the semis that were parked there with the refrigeration units running, and people have their windows open, and it was creating a nuisance.
Okay. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Chief.
Thanks. So is that just going to be an amendment to one of the current ordinances we have?
I have to look at the ordinances to see if we need an ordinance amendment, if it could just be signed, but I'm
Okay.
guessing we probably need one.
Okay, let me know if you need anything on that.
Yep, I will.
Okay. Approve the purchase of 14 Badger books for the use in elections for the amount of $26,801.
Move to approve.
I'd second that.
Motion and second to approve. Discussion?
Just a couple questions, because I didn't catch all of the discussion on it. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the state piece that you were talking about?
Well, I think the bigger part is if you, not talking about the actual, issue of potentially voter fraud of somebody trying to come in and be that, but the actual hacking side of it and that system side. Basically, the state of Wisconsin is the one that supplies the software, supplies the updates, supplies that sort of security. So it's not on us to do that. They'll be supplying it, monitoring it, tracking it, those sort of things. So that part of it, we won't really have much involvement in really at all.
Right, which would be an advantage to us. My biggest question would be this security stuff on that end of it too, so.
Yep, and that's something where that's going to fall on the state.
Okay. And then I think, Jen, too, can you just quickly highlight the amount of time saved, for staff and whatnot, just so the public knows? You were talking about like 40 hours on the backside.
Sure. Well, before the election starts, we actually have to, so voter registration ends 5 p.m. The Friday before an election. So typically I'd have to stay behind all clerks around the state either Friday night or come in on the weekend to print these poll books, because it's 2 poll books for each district. And so that would be time savings right there. And then you have to divide it up alphabetically. And then, but after the election, it would definitely save, depending on the voter turnout, election day registrations, all the data entry, the discrepancies found on each application. It's like playing detective afterwards, trying to figure out what is the spelling of this name, what kind of ID was presented. Okay. So just the data entry portion alone is about 40 hours after each election.
So am I correct, would it be fair to say it makes it easier for the city? It's more efficient?
I would say so.
especially on the backside.
Yep.
That's the goal.
Yes.
We never promise anything until we actually implement new technology.
Right.
It always looks really good in paper. I can't promise. We hope. That's our intent with it. But, you know, like with anything new, until we actually put it into practice. But that is what we hope.
Right. And I know you're fairly new, so, but to put you, would the recommendation from your view be to go with the Badger books as a superior system than what we have currently?
Yes, that's what staff is recommending right now, correct.
Okay.
Anybody else?
So which purchase option did you want to go for? There's an A or B. There's either to purchase it using undesignated funds for this year, or the company can invoice us January 2nd, and we can put it in capital improvements for next year. Either way is fine with me. I don't know about Allison.
Allison, do you have a recommendation?
Probably undesignated, because right now, we already have capital budgeted for 2020. So it's
Okay.
not
Designated.
that,
Right, and honestly, I can't make a good recommendation on that because I just got the CIP. Allison promised she gave it to me last week, but I lost it somehow immediately. I did get it today again, so I am looking at it now, but I think with our process of the CIP and what we have adopted, I think it would make more sense to take from undesignated at this point than try to fit it into something that we've already adopted and I haven't had a chance to even look at yet.
and I wasn't as originally prepared with the 2 years that you guys do here as versus as annual in Stillwater. So when we were talking about it, let's start looking at it, Mike, yeah, that next year is already set for capital, so it's not that we can add to it.
Okay.
Whose motion was it?
I believe it's mine. I will amend the motion to take the money from the undesignated fund.
Okay.
Okay. And who seconded it?
I did.
Yeah, Sarah.
You okay with that, sir?
I am.
All right. So motion second. Further discussion?
I just think it's a great investment. Anything that improves accuracy and alleviates staff time is, to me, and it's a relatively small expenditure. I think it's a very good investment.
Okay. Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We have a couple of the Public Utilities Commission members whose appointments are up and they would like to be reappointed. So I'm recommending Dave Purcell and Kurt Tewinkle be reappointed to the Public Utilities Commission.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion second to approve. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. One thing I want to say, the only thing I actually have to say here now is that I apologize, I was remiss. I had announced Aaron joining us at the Finance Committee, but did not announce that at the beginning of the council meeting. So once again, full council, welcome to Hudson, and welcome as our administrator. I know it's going to be a great time here. So we appreciate you being with us. Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you all for hiring me. I appreciate that a lot. I'm happy to be here, and yes, I'm looking forward to working with all of you. So thank you.
All right. That's it for me. Anybody? Future agenda items, any comments? Is there a
Move to
motion?
adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.